Now, lawyers for embattled Asiedu North Member of Parliament have filed notice of appeal in a Cape Coast court. According to the lawyers, the decision of the court was not based on settled laws and were in clear violation of the 1992 Constitution. They want the appeals court to overturn the decision of the Cape Coast High Court. The NDC has also petitioned the Judicial Service to punish the registrar of the Cape Coast High Court and others who they say frustrated them when they wanted to file processes at the court on Tuesday. Communications Officer of the NDC, Sammy Jamefi, believes the Constitution was misinterpreted.
We are saying that the decision was a travesty of justice and should be overturned by the Court of Appeal because, number one, the trial judge lacked jurisdiction to determine the matter. The matter borders on the interpretation of the Constitution. Rival meanings were put on the meaning of Article 94(2)A, which was at the heart of this case. And per the laws of this country, the High Court judge was bound to refer the matter to the Supreme Court to interpret same because such issues fall within their exclusive jurisdiction under Article 130 of the 1992 Constitution. Secondly, we are saying that the trial court had no authority to determine this matter on the basis of foreign law without trial, without calling evidence. It was wrong for him to have resorted to Wikipedia and to information contained on the so-called renunciation certificate or a renunciation certificate to determine foreign law. Because per Section 1(2) of the Evidence Act, foreign law is a matter of fact, and the Supreme Court has said that foreign law can only be determined at trial by adducing evidence, preferably through expert witnesses, and that was not done in this case. You realize that this matter was hurriedly conducted and concluded on the basis of pleadings or adduction of evidence and so on, and we think that is against the Evidence Act and the laws of this country. Apart from that, there is the issue of the decision being in violation of certain laws and certain decisions of the Supreme Court. That is what the lawyers call per incuria. When a judge decides a matter in flagrant disregard for law or binding decisions of superior courts, that decision is per incuria. So we are saying that the decision violates Section 21D of the Representation of the People Law, PNDC Law 284, which says that qualification must be as at a time of election and not nomination. Again, it violates the Supreme Court decision in the case of S Party, Electoral Commission, Pakwesi Indium, interested party, which says that nomination period is different from nomination days. And so the nomination period is not just the date, the period between when forms are picked and submitted, but the nomination period goes beyond the nomination days, which is the period where forms are picked and submitted, and includes the period that the EC as an administrative body will use to assess the nomination form submitted, vet the information on same, offer opportunity for a candidate to correct, amend, or even hear and determine petitions that are challenging that nomination. And so, granted, or as
Now, National Chairman of the party, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, assured the constituency of the party's full support.
MP to the constituency to engage with the party at the constituency level, and some of our regional executives are already there, and to assure them of the unflinching support of the party behind the MP, and to also remind them that the decision that they took in electing Honorable Kwesi as their Member of Parliament, of which our follow-up and monitoring indicates that the past 6 months that he has been in Parliament is live up to expectation, and the people are very happy about the work that he has done so far. And to go and assure them that together with the constituents and those who voted for him, we will move and support him to ensure that justice is not denied the people, and that the vote and the confidence that they repose in him will not be dashed by anybody through any machination. So we are going there, and the party wants to send a very clear signal that both legally and politically will fight this battle to its logical conclusion.
Now, former Works and Housing Minister, including 4 others, have been charged for causing financial loss to the state. Documents filed in court on behalf of the Attorney General allege that the contractor who executed the Saglemi project has been paid $179 million despite executing work worth $64 million. Out of the 2,172 acres of land released to the contractor, he's said to have developed just 651.75 acres. The Attorney General says none of the completed 668 housing units is habitable, creating a situation where none has been purchased. This means the loan facility has remained unpaid, occasioning a huge financial loss to the state. Executive Chairman of the Constructora OAS Ghana Limited, which is the company executing the project, Andrew Klokanas, another former Minister Kwekwa Juma-Mensah, a former Chief Director at the Ministry Ziblem Yakubu, and one Novi Tete Angelo among the four others charged. Joy News' court correspondent Joseph Akaple has a breakdown of the charges leveled against the individuals.
It mainly has to do with the issuance of false certificates is one charge that runs through. In terms of the public officials, there is the issue of woefully causing financial loss to the state that runs through various sums. Then there is the bit about the misapplication of public funds or misuse of public property is also another offense that runs through. And so these are the offenses that have been leveled against the public officials about dishonestly causing a loss to the state and dishonestly receiving, among other charges that have also been leveled against them, Daniel. So the substantive issue against the public officials is the fact that sometime in 2012, the state went in for $200 million from an international credit agency. And this was money that was supposed to be used to construct 5,000 housing units. Now, we are told that when Mr. Dauda took over as the Works and Housing Minister, he reviewed the contract. And so he said what Parliament had approved was that $200 million for 5,000 housing units. The minister is accused of having reviewed it down was contrary to what Parliament approved to now bring it to 1,500 housing units at the same cost of $200 million. We are told that the chief director later reviewed this downwards to 1,400, aside from the fact that the contract sum all of a sudden reduced from $200 million $181 million. Now, the AG says that as it stands now, the work should have been completed in 2017. We've not had the 5,000 units. We rather have just about 668 units that have been completed. And so what it means is that the 200 million housing units that we're supposed to finish and sell and get money to be able to pay for it, we've not been able to do that. There's also the bit about a consultancy service contract that was awarded. We are told that this particular contract, under the execution of the master agreement, consultancy for the project was not supposed to exceed $5 million, but we are looking at figures in the region of $13 million. In some instances, we are told that the same service was awarded 3 times on 2 occasions to the same company, and on 1 occasion it was shared between AESL and another company that was executed. The thing about VHM and RSM was that the majority shareholder in RSM is also the person VHM, and so we are told that it's the same individual. He is the Tete Angelo Novi, who is also being charged, and we are told that it's the same work that was given to ASL decided to subcontract to VHM. It's that same work that was handed to RSM on 2 occasions. And so the AG makes the point that about a consultancy service contract that was awarded. We are told that this particular contract, under the execution of the master agreement, consultancy for the project was not supposed to exceed $5 million, but we are looking at figures in the region of $13 million.
Now, a couple of months ago, Joy News visited the project site and came through with this report.
Cow dung littered on the dirty tarred roads is the first thing you see upon entering the abandoned site project, which sits on a 300-acre land. It's fast becoming a grazing field for cattle who feed on the weeds growing within the median of the buildings and its surroundings. Street lights, yet to be connected to the national grid, have been mounted in front of the buildings, and the drainage system is visible in between the tarred rows. The housing project comes in 2 categories: a 2-story building with 9 apartments each and another 2-bedroom self-contained apartment. The cream and ash painting on the buildings were fading, perhaps due to being exposed to the vagaries of the weather. Now, let's quickly take a scan and go through some of the houses or the rooms to understand what you have there. I'm talking about the apartment. So, first of all, of course, you see the two-story building, as I mentioned. Now, if you look at my right, for example, this is where it was expected that it would have the meters. And so each room or each apartment would be connected to a meter, which is going to give them electricity as well. Now, to my immediate left is the one of the apartment. And so I walk in, the doors are firmly fixed doors. Of course, you could see that it's a security door because you could see from the inside who is knocking at your door. You also have your light knob as well. Now, if you look here, these are it's a tiled floor, actually, I should say. It's a tiled floor, fully tiled floor. We have all the connections with regards to electricity. And of course, you could see some of them having the bulbs as well here. And so this presumably is expected to be the hall of this particular apartment. And I get a sense that it's a 2-bedroom apartment. And so if you move away from the hall, to my immediate right is another bedroom. It appears to be that it has also been completed as well. But the only difference is that the place has been abandoned, but of course you can see some weeds here and there, and because it's been raining and they haven't access to the room, the floor is a kind of muddy, untidy. That is the situation here at the Sakolame Housing Project. Now, let me take you to the washroom as well. Now, if you come to the washroom, this is expected to be the toilet room where, of course, you want to discharge your human waste. Here, you have a sink here that is equally furnished. They have the lamp holder for the bulbs as well. The doors fully, installed here at the washroom.
Let's move to other stories. And scores of students at the University of Ghana are this morning stranded as the University Teachers Association of Ghana begins its strike over deteriorating working conditions. Lecture halls were empty, with a few students who had reported for lectures hoping against hope that the lecturers would show up. Manuel Kranting was at the Legon campus of the University of Ghana this morning.
Which has a capacity of about 250 students, is this morning totally empty. Well, if you know the University of Ghana's schedule very well, its lectures start from 7:30 a.m. And so, properly speaking, by this time, this class should have been full to capacity. But the opposite is actually what is happening, giving you an indication that indeed the strike of the University Teachers Association of Ghana, as was so declared sometime last week to take effect this morning, is now in full force. And so there's absolutely nobody here. I see a couple of the students while I walked into the lecture hall standing outside, a bit stranded, because indeed the indication is that for some of them, they did not even know that their lecturers were striking effective this morning. And so some of them are even sitting outside. You can see them with their heads on the table. I spoke to a couple of them outside, and you can see them having a conversation. Be jaw-jawing and thinking whether or not their lecturers are indeed going to come for the lectures. I'll just try and get a bit closer to them this morning and then speak to them about where they're coming from and why they're still, around here. But I think you can come a bit closer so we have a quick conversation. Right, so these are some of the students at the University of Ghana who had lectures this morning. And for them, they were really hopeful of having to meet their lecturers in the classrooms. But that doesn't seem to be happening. Worse off is that there is another strike which is currently in force, being organized by the Senior Staff Association Universities of Ghana. So their strike is sort of coinciding with the strike of the University Teachers Association of Ghana. Good morning, what's your name?
I'm Deborah.
Deborah, so you're a student of the University of Ghana, correct?
Yes, please.
Which level?
Level 100.
Level 100. You had a lecture this morning?
Yes, please.
Okay, tell me about the lecture. Is it happening? Why are you outside?
Yeah, I think it's been cancelled. Yes, I came with the hopes of coming for tutorials. We were told on Friday that there'll be tutorials towards the preparation of the exams, but it seems it's not coming on, so yeah.
Was there any communication to you whatsoever?
Yeah, we got a letter. It was sent on a group chat, but I just hoped that there would be lectures, so I just came to find out.
So you are hoping against hope that. But what course are you reading? And I mean, are you done with your coursework for the semester? How is this going to affect you?
I'm doing biomedical engineering, and we are not done. Yes, like we have a lot to cover, and since we are just using 6 weeks for learning, we have a lot undone, and they were planning to use this week to finish the things they couldn't finish. But since the lectures are not coming on, I don't know how we'll be able to finish them. Yeah.
I'll come back for us to talk about how this will affect you. And you've mentioned the 6 weeks, and there's a peculiar explanation to why the University of Ghana is doing 6 weeks for lectures and not the original 13 weeks as you have it. I'll give that to you. But what's your name?
Etonam.
Etonam, I saw you sitting out there, you're reading yourself. You seem to have already taken the stuff into your own hands, and you are learning ahead of the lectures, correct?
Yes, please.
Okay, so tell me, what course do you read and why are you out this early?
Okay, so initially, the normal routine was to be 13 weeks of study, but due to the COVID-19 and then its outbreak and everything, it has been reduced to 6 weeks. And even with that 6 weeks, we are not able to cover everything in class. Some topics are being given to us as reading assignments. So it is up to you, the student. If you don't take on the extracurricular activity on yourself to learn more, you are really going to be left behind.
Let's go to the Upper West region now, where Rafiq Salam reports that UTAG members there are also protesting the delay in migrating them onto the single spine pay policy. Right, now Rafiq himself joins us via Zoom. Rafiq, what have you observed on the campuses of the University of Development Studies?
This is the University of Simon Diedon University of Business and Integrated Development Studies. Remember, it has been carved out from the UDS. And so at the work campus of the SDDU base, what happens was that there was a press conference that was done by the various unions, workers union at the university, and it was addressed by Dr. Joseph Wulufan. They stated in clear terms about their unhappiness regarding what the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission has been doing, what has to do with their migration to the Control and Accountant General's PPD2. And so they have declared this industrial action and saying that for them, it's a double strike that they have back on. Once the national UTAG strike is ongoing, they also have their strike of their own, and they're not going to return to the lecture halls or attend to any students. Then let me tell you that we are just at the end of the press conference, security men or security personnel at the university were directed to ensure that all lecture halls and also offices are locked down. And so they're under lock and key. So we were able to spot some students who came to present their thesis, but they were returned, they got stranded, they were returned by the security personnel. So currently that's what is happening at the Simon Diedon University of Business and Integrated Development Studies in the Upper West region. So nothing is happening here. But they accuse the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission of a negative posture. They are talking about, in terms of employment opportunities, they have been given less as compared to other universities. They also spoke about salary discrepancies or salary discrepancies. They talk about their vice chancellor, their financial controller, where you compare them to what a vice chancellor for the public universities is taking, they are taking less. And so they are saying that they will not agree to what the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, led by Professor Mohamed Salabu, is doing.
Now, Rafiq, tell us about the students. You said that some of them had to be turned away when they were presenting their theses by the security personnel. How did they feel?
The university or the various workers union made it clear that they were not going to attend to lectures. And so anything that has to do with the classroom work, they will not be able to attend to them. And so present the thesis or research work, they will not be available. And so when we try to speak to the students, they were not ready to speak to us, but they expect surprise about the situation. And so they think that they have been abandoned by their lecturers, and they are pleading that they should attend to them so that they could able to finish the university early and go home.
Thank you very much, Rafiq Salam, for those updates. Have you ever heard of revenge porn? It's the distribution of sexually explicit images or videos of individuals without their consent. Many women around the world have suffered this, and the impact can be devastating and sometimes fatal. 21-year-old Amma is one of the many victims living with the harsh impact of revenge pornography. It happened 5 years ago, but the memories are still fresh in her mind, as she tells Joy News' Stella Amuyao in this report read to you.
Of me in videos. She told me to stay away from the guy or else this is what would happen to me. I thought she was joking. Because who would be so heartless to do that?
That is Amma narrating how she was non-consensually filmed back in senior high school by a female colleague who accused her of snatching her boyfriend while threatening to release the footage.
I was on vacation and one morning I woke up to lots of messages. It was scary, and I honestly cursed the day I met the guy. Literally cursed my stars. I told myself I wasn't going back to school because I couldn't face all these thousands of students with the mere thought that they all know how I look like without any clothes on. I was ashamed. Reality started hitting me when I was sacked from home because my mom said I had brought shame to her, so she couldn't live with me. I was 16 years at then. Where was I supposed to go? That was when I told myself, this is it for me. I can't live life like this without a mother even wanting to live with me. Crying out loud, I never took these pictures myself. I'm innocent.
As sad as it may seem, there are many more people who have suffered similar fates. A research by domestic violence charity Refuge indicated that 1 in 7 women has received threats that intimate photographs of them will be shared without their consent. According to a clinical psychologist at the Ghana Police Hospital, Dr. Foster Nenewoto, shame and guilt suffered leave the victim with a lifelong impact.
Studies have established that the effects that sexual abuse have had on people in childhood especially is similar to what revenge porn can have on people, where people can develop depression, they can even go to the extent of becoming suicidal. And so it creates a perpetual mental health burden for such people for many years to come.
Dr. Nenewoto believes that the Cyber Security Act, which criminalizes the sharing of explicit content of an individual without their consent, will serve as a deterrent to perpetrators beyond the remit of the existing Criminal and Other Offences Act.
But recently in 2020, we have the Electronic Transactions Act. That law is more even stringent than the Criminal Offences Act. And in that law, there is custodial sentence. Apart from fines that may be in, a person can actually be put in prison for a longer period compared to the previous one, which had up to just months, but this one up to years in prison.
There seems to be a glimmer of hope as far as the legal framework regarding the phenomenon is concerned. Even though the new act prescribes up to 25-year jail term for perpetrators, its effective implementation is what will ease the pain of victims. Stella Amuyao's report for Joy News.
Now, in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic and with the increase in medical cases in Ghana, the ACCRA Medical Center has built a new 45-bed capacity ultra-modern hospital facility as part of efforts to support government in the provision of quality health care. The hospital officially opened the new facility on Friday to the public. My colleague Judith Alchetando visited the facility and now reports.
The Accra Medical Center was built in 2011 with just a handful of workers and clients. Today, the center services over 90,000 patients. Over the years, it has fulfilled its primary aim of providing quality and affordable healthcare services. However, in the wake of the pandemic and with the increasing number of medical cases, board chair of the medical center, Moses Kluko, indicated that the hospital thought it wise to expand its services.
So we started planning such a project about 10-20 years ago. And then we came out, actually I came back to Ghana this September, 11 years. And when we came, we started going to other places and the challenges we faced, sitting down, waiting for a doctor for 4 hours, going through the difficulties of getting good care. We thought it was the right thing to do. So we started Accra Medical Center 2011. And over the years, our clients and patients asked for more. They wanted a one-stop shop. They enjoyed the service we gave and wanted to have everything in-house. So we started to expand our service, and that led to this project.
Today, the Accra Medical Center, through its newly built 45-bed capacity hospital facility, is able to provide orthopedic services with neurosurgery and ICU services set to begin within this month.
Okay, so this project is for Ghana. It's to serve Ghanaians. We have 3 wards, a pediatric ward. Each ward is 12 beds. We have a female ward and we have a male ward. We have 2 surgical theaters. We do all kinds of cases from ENT to orthopedics. We've already started orthopedics. We've done about 7 hip replacements. We are hoping to do a neurosurgery case somewhere in August. And we are hoping to have other specialists on board to do a lot of cases. So now the plan is to shorten the waiting time for cases at the big hospital.
In an interview with Joy News, Marketing and Communications Manager of Stanbic Bank, Maukwa Fajinu, explained the company is always in support of such projects due to the impact it has on the Ghanaian populace.
We've had a very good relationship with this project from the beginning. It's one that has impact beyond the building you see. It provides a critical service to the economy, particularly to the provision of healthcare. And these are projects that the bank actively looks for and actively partners because of the cascading impact it has on the society.
The Accra Medical Center hopes to complement the government's efforts to produce quality healthcare in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. Judith Awachitando, Joy News.
You're live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. Up next is Daryl Kwao with business.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. Local cement producer GASM says it would adjust the price of its cement products if the cost of raw materials and freight charges witness a reduction in the coming weeks. According to the company, it is committed to contributing to the development of the country despite several interventions already made in the past years. Speaking to Joy Business, Managing Director Stefano Gallini hinted the recent hikes in the price of cement is as a result of the high costs it incurs during production.
That we are facing, we have been exposed to the crazy jump of the freights in the last 6, 7, 8 months. From the end of last year till today, the cost of freights doubled and sometimes tripled. You can look also the containers, the cost of the containers, it went really skyrocketed. Now, to identify the reason is difficult, because could be partially the economic growth, partially Asia, partially oil prices, partially most probably the attempt to compensate part of the losses that the maritime activities had last year. But we saw the cost of our raw materials more than doubling in the last 6, 7 months. That's a fact.
So is it likely to affect pricing if it continues?
We are trying to contain it as much as possible, but obviously there might be an impact. Obviously, there has already been, because we have been obliged to have some price steps in February and in March, and we have been absorbing so far the extra cost that we had, but obviously there might be an impact on the prices, but that is strictly related to the cost of the raw materials. And to make it very clear, in the moment that the freights will go down, we have a commitment also to readjust the prices down. So the steps that we have taken in terms of prices, together with Ebenezer and with the rest of the team, are decided in order to partially compensate the cost of raw material. We're not even totally compensating that, but that is a partial compensation. But in the moment that we will see the freights going down, depending obviously on the international activities, we have a commitment also to readjust the prices downwards.
In other news, the Grameen Foundation is partnering 3 civil society organizations in the Northern and Upper East regions to establish 90 female mobile money vendors as part of the employment program. Now, these women are expected to also serve as business advisors to other women in their communities. Martina Bugri has more.
Speaking at a workshop to share the key findings of We Gains, We Barriers and Opportunities, dissemination with key stakeholders, validate findings, and gain their inputs on the project activities. Regional Director for Africa Grameen Foundation, Alfred Yeboah, said the project, which is receiving funding from the U.S. government, is to exploit the setting up of female mobile vendors in these communities as microfinance to grow their businesses.
Typically, programs come and go, funded, they end, and that's it. Especially for the non-financial services. That is, we train, we set up female agents to be providing, counseling support, awareness creation in their communities, basically serving as change agents. But the challenge always has been the sustainability of these interventions. So one, we identified that if we are able to also set these same female agents as mobile money agents, the project provided startup capital for them, train them, provide them all the support services they need to succeed as mobile money agents who are able to also accrue some profit from their business. Then we can also use them as change agents when it comes to providing gender-based violence awareness creation in their communities.
The director said they would have a revolving fund to be able to scale up the project.
So the whole idea is that we will come up with some kind of a revolving fund out of this project and then find ways to attract investment or funding into this fund to be able to scale up the numbers. And then we are still talking with the CSOs, the local CSOs, to see how the revenue that will accrue to the agent that will be setting up as part of this project, some fractions, some margins will also feed into this revolving fund.
And there's more business news coming up at the top of the hour on the marketplace. But up next is Sports with Muftao. He'll have some news from the 2020 Olympics. Stay tuned.
Let's talk about Great Olympics, where their head coach Naropa is opened to pastures anew after the expiration of his contract with the Wonder Club. The former Brecum Chelsea and Nanya FC coach says management has not approached him to extend his stay, and he will join another club if he receives a favorable offer.
Naropa guided Great Olympics to finish sixth on the league table in the just-ended Ghana Premier League season. However, his contract with the Wonder Club has expired, and the former Brecum Chelsea and Nanya FC head coach has opened his doors to moving away from the Accra-based club if his contract is not extended.
If maybe there should be this understanding, because as I'm talking to you now, I have one season with Olympics, which I have finished my season after our last match. But the GFA calendar season is not ended because we are still playing the FA Cup. So I'm waiting till maybe management or tells me they want to renew my contract or whatever, or my doors are open for any team that wants to come.
The work done by Walker at Great Olympics won him many admirations. He says he's committed to the cause of the club as supporters wants him to stay on to continue the work he has started with.
The fans will not like me to leave Olympics, and management knew my contract was getting finished at the end of the season. So they should have called to ask maybe my view or my intention of maybe staying or leaving. Till we're talking now, they've not told me anything. But the supporters or my fans want me to stay in Olympics. But that all depends on management. So if there's something to ask, then they should ask management whether they, maybe management have their reasons of not asking me to renew my contract. So I'm looking at management at the moment. As for my fans and the supporters, I want to do something for them to feel happy, which I have done. At least this season I've done something small to make them happy.
Walker had set himself a target of finishing among the top 4 clubs in the Ghana Premier League, but the club ended the season sixth on the league table.
That is your sports for now. Head on to myjoyonline.com. There is more sports there as we continue our coverage of the Tokyo Olympic Games. Up next is World News.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News. And now Joy FM's Doreen Ando has been crowned Woman of the Year at the recently held Glit Women Honors. The Ghana Women of the Year Honors platform unveils and celebrates both the Ghanaian woman and women from the diaspora who are making great impact in society. The event, which took place at the Mövenpick Ambassador Hotel over the weekend, saw the likes of other women receiving the prestigious award, and Doreen Ando, who is the host of the Cosmopolitan Mix on Joy FM, was not left out.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And a couple of years ago, I was right here, and I didn't think that I would be here today, but I am. We thank God for his blessings, and I also thank God for the gift of the talents that I have to do my work daily. To my work colleagues, some of them are here tonight, I definitely want to say a very big thank you. They always supported behind the scenes and made sure that everything was done and done right. I also want to say a very, very big thank you to the Glitz Africa team, because they have worked hard to make sure all of this comes to us every year. And honoring women every year is definitely something that we need to congratulate them for. I'm deeply honored with all of this, and I also like to thank all of those who have encouraged me in the background, my friends. Some of them are here this evening. Some of them I don't see, but I only come across by email or text or tweets, and I know they are listening and I can't see them, but I have made a whole family of friends along the way in the past 26 years. As a child, I was a regular tomboy, and all of this was definitely not in my list of things to do, winning awards, etc. But today we're here.
Naropa Sakodaya says photos of him holding a cigar circulating on social media is a symbol of celebration. According to the rapper, in the world of entertainment, holding cigars and subsequently smoking it is a way to celebrate one's success. And so he doesn't owe anyone an apology, as a section of the public is demanding from him.
Oh, it's so if you do a little bit research on cigars, just to get the fact that smoking is not good.
Right.
It's not good for your health, and as they said, it's true. It's any form of smoking is not good. So what cigars represent, especially in my world of entertainment, is celebrating success, achievements. So if you see the athletes, that's what they do. They don't smoke on a regular basis, and they just wake up and start smoking. So when they have something to celebrate, then they take a cigar. So what it represents, and then the fact that you don't inhale it in you take it out, which is still all risky, but everything, there's moderation to it. So yes, it was basically that. It took me a while to even have the nerve to, put it out, because I know my people and how they would take things, and I knew that's how they were going to take it. They even took time. I was shocked that it was almost a week before I got the feedback from, so for the organization, I guess they're doing their job. That's what they are supposed to do, and I can respect that. But I think most times when these organizations supposedly they are there, it wasn't going to take much for them to approach me to even start doing campaign on the smoking thing. You don't wait till now to come and tell me that I have the best brand and I'm not supposed to do that and all these things. I get it, but the only thing that blew me off was the fact that I don't know if I'm wrong, they're expecting me to apologize, which in our culture, and I get it, that's how we are. But
Away from Sakodaya, veteran Nigerian actress Rachel Oniga has died. She was 64 years old, according to celebrity journalist and film producer Seun Olutuke, who broke the news on his Instagram page. Oniga passed away on Friday night. The report comes as a shock to the film industry, as the Owoblo actress was reportedly sighted shooting film scenes in Mowe, Ogun State, only a few days ago. Originally from Eku, Delta State in southern Nigeria, she was born on the 23rd of May, 1957 in Ebute Meta, Lagos State. Rachel Oniga began her acting career in 1993. She, however, became a household name after starring in the Yoruba classic family drama Owoblo. Over the years, Oniga has featured in notable Nigerian films such as Sango, Wale Adegone's television series Super Story, Dr. Bello, 30 Days in Atlanta, The Royal Hibiscus Hotel, The Wedding Party, and My Village People. May she rest in perfect peace. Well, on that note, we end Showbiz here on Joy News today. My name is Becky.
And that's it for this bulletin of Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. Many thanks for joining us. Up next, Charles Aite takes you to the marketplace. For more news, log on to myjoyline.com. See you tomorrow.